Hi, welcome to today's recording, and it's going to be on surface area and volume of pyramids. And if you look and see, we've got three different formulas on there. The first two that I have on top here, the first two that I have on top here, these are both ways to find just the surface area. And one's the lateral, which is just going to be the triangles around the outside. And the first one is the total surface area. That's got the base included. And then finally, the last one is for our volume. Notice it looks very similar to the formula for a prism. The only difference is we're taking a third of the entire volume of what that prism initially was. Okay, so very, very similar formulas. All right, so let's look at one example, and then that'll be a very short video today. All right, so we want to find the first surface area and the volume of the pyramid. Okay, so we're going to start with finding the lateral surface area, which if we look back, it's that 1/2 PL. Now this L right there, that is your slant height. Okay, so that L is the slant height. That basically is the height of the triangle. Let me erase that. Okay, so that's the height of the triangle. That's all that slant height is. It's not an edge. That's a very common mistake. So if we want to find our slant height, I need this value right here, this overall height of my prism. Okay, so the height of the triangle. That's going to be my L. Okay, so looking back here, we got 1/2 PL. So it's going to be 1/2 PL. So for my perimeter, remember that's the perimeter of our base. So we know what our base is. It's a hexagon. So it's 8 sides. So my perimeter, each side is 8. There's 6 sides. So that's going to be 48. So my perimeter is 48. Now I need my slant height. Well, this value that I gave you here, that 12, that's for the edge. That's not our slant height. So we're going to have to use Pythagorean theorem to help us find the height of our triangle, our slant height. Well, this is basically an isosceles triangle. So when I draw in my altitude, it forms a right triangle. It also hits at the median down here. So if the entire side length is 8, that small piece there is 4. And I have my C is 12. So I can go ahead and do Pythagorean theorem. So it's going to be 4 squared plus B squared equals, or 12 squared. So 16 plus B squared is 144. We'll subtract 16 from both sides. So I have B squared equals, okay, so our B squared equals 128. And we'll go ahead and take the square root of both sides. So B is about 11.31. So that's our slant height. So 11.31. And so I can go ahead and multiply that all the way out. And I get about 271.53. And it's meters, so we're going to go meters squared. Okay, so now let's find the total surface area. So it's still that 1/2 PL, but this time we're going to add our base. Well, fortunately, we already found that 1/2 PL. It's 271.53. What I need to find now is that big B. And the nice thing about doing these things the way that I have you do them is we're finding surface area and volume all at once. So you're actually finding all these different pieces as we go. Okay, so I need to find that big B. Well, in this case, our base is a hexagon, so it's going to be 1/2 AP. Well, I already know my perimeter. I don't know my apothem yet. We're going to have to find that. I know my perimeter, and we've got it up here, which is just that 8 times 6, so 48. Well, I want to find my apothem. Okay, so now we're going to have to do a little bit of trig. So let me grab a different color here, and let me erase what I've drawn in there. Okay, so we'll go in red here. So my apothem is that value right there. Well, fortunately I've got trig, so I can find that. So that's 4, so I need to find out what that angle is. So we'll just do 360. And there's 12 of those little triangles, so we'll divide it by 12, so that gives me 30. So that angle right there is 30 degrees. Now you have two options. You can either use the fact that it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle to find your missing value, or you can go trig. For time here, we'll go with that. It's a 30, 60, 90. So that's our 4, so this is going to be 4 square root of 3 for our apothem. Okay, so our apothem is 4 times the square root of 3. Again, you could do trig, but just simply out of time, I'll use the fact that it's a 30, 60, 90. Okay, so I can go ahead and multiply that all the way out, and I'll go ahead and get a decimal, mainly because if you want to do it with trig, we can kind of compare our answers, so that way we're consistent. And when I multiply that all the way out, I get the area of the base as being 166.28. Let me just go ahead and do that one more time here just to make sure it's correct. Okay, good. So 166.28. So plus 166.28. So I'm going to add those two together. So plus 271.53. I get 437.81. And again, it's surface area, so it's going to be meters squared. And finally, the last thing that I want to do is go ahead and find my volume, which is 1/3 area of the base times the height. I already have the area of my base. We just calculated it, so 166.28. We don't need to do that again. However, looking back at our figure, we don't have the height of our pyramid. The height of our pyramid is going to be, and I'll draw this one in green, the height of our pyramid is going to go from our vertex to the center of our figure and form a right angle. Well, a couple things that we could do here. We've got a few values that we need to kind of work with. Now, fortunately, again, with this being a hexagon, and I'll go back and I'll put my apothem in there. So my apothem was here. Again, it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So what I have, let's go with purple. So what I have right here is a right triangle. And I can use that to help me to find the height of my pyramid. I know that this side here is 12. Let me go ahead and erase that over there. Okay, so I know that my edge is 12, so that my C is 12. I actually know what this is. It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So if that's 4, that's going to be 2x. So that makes that 8. So now I can go ahead and do my Pythagorean theorem. So I've got 8 squared plus b squared equals 12 squared. So it's going to give me 64 plus b squared equals 144. And b squared is going to be 144 minus 64 is 80. Take the square roots. So b is going to be about 8.94. So I know what my b is. That's my height of my pyramid. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that out. So 8.94. And I'll go ahead and multiply all of that information together. 66. So the volume of my pyramid is 495.75. Now, the nice thing about a problem like this is, oops, it's cubed for my units. Nice thing about a problem like this, look at all the information that we've done. We've had to use Pythagorean theorem, we've used our special right triangles, we could have used trig, a lot of different things that we're able to go through do. So it's a great review over what we've learned for the year. Now, I'm not going to give you very many questions like this. Obviously, it's a very time-consuming process. Obviously, this video is 9 minutes, and we've only done one example. So your problems like this, I'm either going to give you a little bit more information, or maybe I give you the height, or I give you something extra to help you find your surface area and volume. But I went and did one difficult example, and this is about the hardest that they're going to get. So everything from here should be fairly simple. Well, thank you for watching the video. And we'll work on these problems, our homework in class, on Monday.